Hi, I'm Ryan with your Neville Museum Minute. Here today with Kevin. How are you doing this morning, Kevin?
Wonderful. How you doing, Ryan?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for being here with me today.
Of course.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at another selection of artifacts from the museum's collection. And we have over 100,000 different three-dimensional objects in our collection, and they come from around the world. Now, nowadays, we wouldn't necessarily be collecting these types of things, but these are things that came to the museum a number of years ago from somewhere that's kind of not our collecting region today, right? Today, we're really focused on northeastern Wisconsin and the UP of Michigan, but these come from much farther away from that. So what are we looking at today, Kevin?
Well, we have a wonderful collection here from the Arctic region of Alaska, specifically the St. Lawrence Island, which is right in the Bering Strait between Siberia and modern land Alaska. So what we have are several artifacts that I brought out from the collection from a particular collector. Her name was Anne Bannon. Most of them came from her. There's over 200 of those objects. Now, Anne was actually from Wisconsin originally. She grew up in 1879 in western Wisconsin and made her way to Green Bay in the early 20th century. Now, for whatever reason, decided to go to California. She was a stenographer here from the time when you actually had to learn how to type. And so then she went to California, but then she was part of a mission organization in the Presbyterian Church, and they were looking for missionaries to go to attend at a hospital as a housekeeper in Alaska. And she didn't know much about it. And then she realized, well, this is an island in the middle of the Bering Strait. Well, she ends up there in 1923, June of 1923. She's 44 years old, single at the time, took on this great adventure of her life. And through the 1920s, 1930s, and then came back in the 1940s, where she eventually passed away in 1952 at the age of 73. But we have this amazing collection now from her that was sent to the museum because the exhibits at the time were, how do we collect the world, bring it to Green Bay and show them? In this case, they were interested in the Eskimos. Now, of course, today we call them the Yupik people. So here are some of the things that you can see. We've got objects that range from, these are goggles that would have been used as snow goggles that would go on the eyes to protect from the harsh snow on these islands in the winter. Mukluks in front of us. These are sealskin mukluks, so boots, and you can just see the variety of wonderful needlework and things like that that were produced. We even have here, this is actually made of walrus. It's an effigy of a walrus, and it has some different kinds of things like even the needles. So this is a sewing kit that would have been used. So again, all these artifacts chronicle daily life amongst the Yupik people of St. Lawrence Island, or to them it was known as Sevokuk.
Yeah, they're really interesting people. I've done a little bit of research about them. And what I found was that, like a lot of the people living in those kind of really harsh climates, farming was not a huge part of their culture. Even gathering things naturally, they did, as far as like plants and wood and materials like that. But really, hunting was the basics of their culture, right? It was really seal, walrus, maybe even whale from time to time, but really utilizing the different resources they could get from those animals is really what a lot of their things are made of.
And even to this day, I mean, obviously there's modern materials. It's subsistence of the landscape. I mean, it's a very diverse maritime environment. You've got the Umiak behind us, and Umiak is, of course, their principal mode of transportation around the islands. Again, this is only 34 miles from Siberia. It's closer to actually Russia, as we know today, than it is to Alaska. So most of the people living are the Siberian Yupik on this island of St. Lawrence. Today, there's only less than 1,000 people in the entire island. It's about 90 miles by 20 miles long.
So what do we know about this parka?
Well, it's one of two. This is a child's parka, and it has some fur on it a little bit, but the intestines itself, it's either seal or walrus. They're similar. Obviously, walrus would have been bigger, so you'd have more surface area. But the intestines part is very fascinating. So they used every single part of these animals. But what happens is it becomes waterproof. It's a wonderful natural Gore-Tex, basically. And if you think about this region of the world, it actually gets quite wet and it's moist, obviously being on the ocean. So to be waterproof is an important thing. So the child's parka is just a wonderful piece of artistry in one, but it's functional too. So we know that obviously children need their coats before they go outside, and they would put on this intestine parka. Of course, it didn't smell, but it is waterproof, and so the adult one too is similar in that respect. So again, it's showing ingenuity from the material resources that were available.
Hey, this is just, like I said, one small selection of our artifact collection that comes from all around the world. We're going to hopefully be seeing more of them, both in exhibits here at the museum and in these types of videos. And if there's an object or a topic or something you've seen here at the museum that you want to know more about, just leave that information for us down in the comments below the video. And another great way to keep updated on all of our new videos is just to subscribe to our channel, and you'll get a notification every time we have a new one that comes out. Any final thoughts, Kevin?
If you can say Mukluk and Umiak in the same sentence, you're on the path to become an anthropologist. So come visit at the museum and get your fill.
You got one up on me, Kevin. Nice work. All right, thanks, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for checking out our video. Make sure to check out other museum minutes and visit the museum as often as you can. Thanks.